How do you define authenticity? Would you say you're an authentic and genuine person? Not only sometimes, but consistently authentic in every situation? Let's find out. Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career coach and communication trainer. And today we want to explore why authenticity is your best ally, both in your personal life and in your career. So why do we care so much about authenticity? Authenticity is what makes you unique. It's what differentiates you from others. And you know, these days you have coworkers, you see people on TV that might not be as authentic, and this is what puts you in a very positive light. Authenticity also helps you build your reputation. And we talked about this in a previous video. Your reputation is really important and crucial to your career. And finally, authenticity is very important because it helps you build long-term relationships. If you're not authentic with people, you cannot expect them to be authentic with you, and therefore there will be no long-term benefits for being in such a relationship. So this topic came to mind as I talked to someone last week who were advised by his friends to delete some of his professional experiences on his resume. And it was a chunk of experience that he had accumulated in 2020. So first of all, if there's anything you can leave on your resume that really does not feel the best in your career, it's really 2020. I mean, after everything that's been happening in the world, you might be more excusable for quitting your job after 6 months or getting laid off. This is really the time when you definitely don't want to delete anything, because recruiters will want to know what happened in 2020 for yourself. Now, this led me to question why we have a problem trying to stay authentic on our resume in our career. Why can't we just be ourselves and be as authentic as possible? Well, first, maybe we don't have enough experience to meet the requirements of a job ad or a company. And in this case, we feel like we cannot be as authentic as possible because we're lacking experience and expertise. And maybe we try to embellish reality on our CV, on our resume, to make sure that the recruiter sees us in a better light. The second point, we might not be brave enough to accept ourselves as we are. And we want to look consistent in the way we behave, the way we act, the way we navigate our career. And maybe we cannot explain a bad experience that we had in the past because we didn't embrace it at all. We felt threatened. We felt it was a difficult phase. And therefore, we have difficulty now to express it clearly and justify why we didn't perform as well, or we quit, or the experience was that short, like the person I talked to in the beginning. And the third point, we are not confident in the way we express our ideas or opinions, and we feel like we must somehow conform with expectations of a company, of society, of any recruiter. As humans, we want to be recognized and accepted for who we are. And maybe you decide to only work part-time and you really focus on only working part-time because you have other things to take care of on the side, whether it be your family or a hobby, or you're trying to build your own business. Then you need to affirm yourself and have the confidence to express why, to share why this is important to you in the first place. Now, let me warn you about trying to embellish your experience, your career, your resume. There's a lot of traps that you don't want to fall into because they can be pretty tricky to handle in the future. First, if you start lying, modifying, embellishing your reality, you're going to get caught at some point. It's like any criminal. You try to lie to change a story that is not what you live, who you are, what you experience. At some point, you're going to get mixed up. And remember, a recruiter's job is to make sure that your experience, your resume is consistent. They want to understand why you went from a career in accounting to a career in sales, why you stay only 6 months here and then you stay 3 years there. They want to understand the why. They will ask you, and they will ask you more than once, because it's very easy to portray yourself as the best employee possible with the best qualities, the best experiences. However, if it's not the truth, I want to make sure that it's really who you are. So after I do a round of questions, I might go back to the beginning and ask you again in a different way and make sure that whatever you tell me for the second time is still the same as what you told me in the first place. So be careful if you start lying, hiding, concealing, embellishing reality. Either you make sure that your memory is on top and you remember all of it, but more seriously, don't try to do it because you will get caught. And if you get caught once, there's no coming back. You can forget about interview process, about your resume, how good you are at talking, it's over. There's no trust from the employers to you. There's no relationship starting to get hired. Now, the second pitfall for why you should not start lying, embellishing reality is once you start mixing up facts, you start thinking about something that you did or didn't do, you don't really remember where the truth is. And imagine if you've been working for 10, 15, 20 years, and you try to justify something that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago. If it's not the truth, there's no way you can remember exactly what you said, because you won't even be able to remember the real situation in the first place. So at some point, you're going to lose yourself in details. And what happens with this is you're going to lose faith and confidence in your own values, in your own experiences. And then what happens is that you lose the authenticity of your career. Your career is unique. You don't need to match anybody else's expectation. Your career is unique as long as you can explain why you did the things that you did. And if you lose this authenticity, now you become robotic when you explain what you did in your career, when you try to answer interview questions. And the interviewer will pick that up. They will know something is not right. Now you will lose yourself, you'll get confused, you'll get frustrated, and you don't want doubt and confusion to take over, especially when you're looking for jobs, especially when you try to build your career. Because if you lose this faith and you start doubting yourself, you might need a career coach, which for me is cool because you can give me a call, but I really don't wish you to be in this state of doubt and confusion. If you're clear with your career, if you accept whatever you did in the past, the mistakes, the failure, the successes, stay authentic to it, explain it, and you don't need to justify anything. Which leads me to the third point. Whatever you've accomplished in the past was based on feelings, gut feelings, decision-making, and you made those decisions. Now you take responsibility for them and you can express them fully. Because when you feel comfortable by owning these mistakes, these experiences, you can grow and you can grow freely. Nothing holds you back. So remember, just accept what you did, be confident in the process, and explain it clearly so that you can start growing. Now, what are the takeaways from today's video? You need to stay authentic in your career specifically, but in your personal life. Why? Because when you stay authentic, people will respect your values, your identity more, and therefore they will trust you more. And isn't that the thing we all want, to be trusted by other people? Second, you feel more confident about your personality and your life story or your professional story. When you are aligned, when you believe that your personality matches your accomplishments, you feel aligned, you feel comfortable with telling the whole picture without trying to modify it or embellish it. And this confidence in turn leads to more opportunities, more growth. Now, number three, when you feel fully authentic and can share that with other people, you get so much more opportunities because people trust you. You stand out as the reliable and credible person. And when people know that about you, they can give you so much in return for your authenticity. So tell me, do you usually feel authentic with yourself and others? When was the last time you didn't quite feel that authentic? And what triggered this deviation from your normal behavior? Remember, on this channel, we experience and experiment to try to find out solutions to the problems or situations that we face in life. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss 2 new videos each week where we talk about career, mindset, and personal growth. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.